Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. All right. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for buying my girlfriend a blender instead of a necklace that she wanted for our anniversary? And just a warning, this was my post.
No, it was not.
Before I'd start, I'd like to say that both my girlfriend and I are women. We're lesbians. I say this to hopefully preempt the typical man comments. This happened last month, but my best friend and hers are still giving me grief about it. We had our 1 year anniversary. I asked what she wanted, and she told me just something romantic, a little necklace or something cute. While browsing around on Amazon, I found an emulsion blender and it pinged in my head. My girlfriend loves cooking and always talks about all the gadgets that she wants. Plus, she made some homemade tomato sauce, and I remember her complaining about how hard it was to make the sauce smooth because she didn't have an emulsion blender. I'm a very practical gift giver. I like to give people things that they will use, so I bought it and I was super excited to give it to her. Well, the day rolls around and she gives me a bottle of whiskey that I've had my eye on for ages, but I could never justify the cost. So I was so hyped and encouraged my girlfriend to open hers. She opened it and her face just kind of falls and she goes, "Oh, an emulsion blender?" And I told her I remember talking about all the kitchen gadgets that she wanted, so I was excited to give it to her. She kept her cool, but told me that while she appreciated the thought, she was a little upset that it wasn't jewelry. I was confused, so she explained that she felt that our anniversary should be more about romantic slash sentimental gifts versus practical. That she appreciated it greatly, but couldn't lie to me that she wished it had been the necklace that she pointed out to me online. It was nothing fancy, it was a $30 mushroom necklace. I shared my woes with my friends, and my friends thought it was hilarious that I was so inept, and that he understood why my girlfriend was upset with her gift. Girlfriend's best friend also got wind of the situation and has been ribbing me, telling me my girlfriend to get back to the kitchen jokes, etc. My girlfriend and I are fine now, but I know she's disappointed. And she ended up buying the necklace herself a week after I gave her the blender, so am I the jerk for giving my girlfriend a practical gift versus the necklace that she wanted? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Maybe a little bit, definitely inept and potentially a little bit of a jerk. If you have in the back of your mind that this could be used to make you food.
So I feel that the girlfriend was pretty clear
Mm-hmm.
about what
What she
she
wanted.
wanted, and OP's like, "Oh, emulsion blender."
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is when someone tells you they want something, like,
You take
you.
the hint.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't make the I know that like probably the emotional blender was like more expensive than the necklace, but again, like appliances are kind of like a mutual thing that two people buy together to share and
Right.
utilize. It shouldn't really be like the sole gift that you give someone. It might have been nice if OP had been like, "Oh, as a kind of an extra gift to maybe both of us, I bought us this blender too."
Right, exactly. But it kind of like makes the presumption that it's one partner's domain to do the
Yeah,
cooking.
yeah.
Like when you give household gifts, it's like, oh well, you're the one who does house stuff, so you
Yeah.
get the house stuff.
You handle all the cooking stuff. You can use this to help feed me later.
Yeah, that's kind of what these gifts end up feeling like.
Here, have a vacuum cleaner while you're at it so that you can clean up the mess that you make in the kitchen. I know that that happens a lot. I'm saving you time here, don't you see? So, I mean, I think OP hopefully knows in the future that their girlfriend wants a sentimental gift and not a useful or practical gift. And like
Right.
listen to your partner when they tell you what they want. Don't ignore that and be like, I think I actually know what they want more. Unless there is a rare exception to this. If you truly do know your partner well enough to get them a gift that they didn't actually specify that they wanted, or you know them well enough to buy certain things, then you can get them that stuff. But unless someone explicitly asks for an emulsion blender for their anniversary, you probably want to err away from that. At least that's my personal life philosophy. Anyhow, take care and good luck.
Our next story is, am I the jerk for telling my soon to be niece that she doesn't need to wear a dress to my wedding? I'm a 32-year-old female, and I'm getting married to my fiance, a 41-year-old male, next year. After we got engaged, I suggested it might be nice if I asked my fiance's niece, who's 15, if she wanted to be a bridesmaid too. I've only met her a couple of times, so we're not close, but she seemed like a cool kid, and I thought it might be a nice way for us to bond, get to know each other, involve her in the wedding. Side note, she's the only niece slash nephew on either side of the family. Anyway, cut to a few weeks ago, and we're in my fiance's hometown to visit his family and discuss wedding related stuff. His brother, sister in law, and their daughter came over, and I noticed this time that she was dressed a lot more androgynous than I remembered. The topic moved to wedding dresses and bridesmaids' dresses, and I could see she was immediately uncomfortable. Her parents, her mom really, and grandma were making comments about how she'd need to be more feminine slash brush her hair, etc., and how nice it would be to see her like that. I'll be honest and say that hit a nerve with me as I was very much a tomboy as a teenager, even though I'm not anymore, and it absolutely broke me whenever my relatives would say things like that. Yeah. Eventually, her mother made a comment along the lines of, "It'll be nice to see you dressed like a girl for once," and she looked really sad, embarrassed, and upset. In response, because that really hit a nerve, I immediately told her that my maid of honor would be wearing a trouser suit for the wedding and not a dress, and that I'd given all the bridesmaids the option of wearing anything they want as long as it's in the wedding color to make things easier. I pulled out my phone and started showing her photos of ideas my friends had sent me: a jumpsuit, culottes, a trouser suit, a tailored tux, etc., and let her know that she could pick anything at all she wanted. She could even wear jeans and trainers if that made her comfortable, and that it's a wedding, not a fashion show. My niece perked up a bit when I said that, but her mom looked really mad. She's since asked my fiance to pressure me into getting all the bridesmaids' dresses so their daughter will have to wear one, which lol, no. My husband doesn't care what she wears, but obviously also doesn't want his family and me to be arguing on the wedding day. I don't want to back down because I know what it feels like to be pressured into wearing something that makes you uncomfortable, but on the other hand, I know it's only for a day and it'll make the family happy. Am I the jerk for trying to overrule her parents?
I don't think OP was actually trying to overrule the parents.
No.
I think OP was like, oh, by the way, my maid of honor is wearing a jumpsuit, and no one has to wear a dress if they don't want to.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna say OP is 100%
The
not the
jerk.
jerk,
No, I'm
not
just
the
kidding.
jerk,
I'm just kidding.
uh, and should deserve honor of the year award for this. Like, I mean, I hated dresses when I was like, I have a lot of trauma around dresses, and like, my dad, always complained about me not wearing dresses, and it was really frustrating to me to feel like my parents would prefer like this fake version to the real me, like, they wanted me to be something that I wasn't. I can feel a lot for the niece here. Like, if someone had wanted me to be in a wedding and then like were to force me into a dress when I was 15, like, that would have been really upsetting and traumatic. And so I think OP is doing absolutely the right thing.
Hmm.
And I think that the mom here is the one who's doing. She's, for one, this is OP's wedding. She's trying to overrule
Yeah,
OP's wedding.
yeah. It's
Like,
like you must actually have everyone wear a dress so that
so I
you
can
can
force
force
my
my daughter.
daughter.
Imagine having like a mind frame so enrooted in getting your daughter to dress up a certain way and act a certain way that you want to make demands out of someone else's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a whole level of like I really want to enact my will on my daughter.
Mm-hmm. And like, that's really sad.
Yeah.
Like, kids are their own independent people. Sometimes they're gonna wear things that we wouldn't personally want to wear,
Yeah.
and that's okay. It's important to let your kids have as much autonomy as you can let them. And teenagers, it's hard enough being a teenager.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's so much going on, everything's changing around you. You're growing up, and it's just like this weird world to navigate. Like, let her experiment, have fun. Maybe someday she'll decide she likes dresses like I did. Maybe she won't.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll always decide she doesn't, but she needs to have room to be her own person.
Yeah, and this isn't helping the situation. Like, if anything, pressuring her to be a certain way is only gonna like root her deeper into her, ways. For instance, not that I'm saying like you should try to force her, but give her the freedom to make her own choices and her own decisions, and let her be her own person, and let her come up with her own style, her own fashion, and those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's important here. I think that, the mom is not letting her be her own person. And I think that's a terrible tragedy. And it's terrible when parents don't accept their kids for who they are and
Mm-hmm.
want them to be someone completely different from who they are. And this is just all this is sending. The only message this is sending to the kid is that we don't like you how you are and we want you to be someone else.
Exactly. And it does become traumatic. Like, if you've got people saying these things to you all the time, the trauma builds, and you
Hmm.
may Like, I mean, again, maybe your kid just doesn't like these things, period, but you may also make it so that they have all this trauma associated with dresses and then don't want to wear them anymore
Yeah.
either.
And that's really sad, It really is sad. All right, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not scheduling a new hire's vacation? I'm the manager of a small team at a large company. Each manager does their own team schedule, and I hired Lacey last week. Lacey told me when she accepted the job that she had already had non refundable vacation plans at the end of May. I told her that I did the schedule and I would try to accommodate her. I couldn't accommodate her at all. There's already another team member out. I put the schedule up and I was very surprised at an email from Lacey regarding her vacation not being scheduled. I informed her that we did not have the flexibility and that she was expected to work. Well, when I went to my lunch break, I walked by Lacey's desk and I was surprised to see it packed. She handed me her lanyard and told me that she quit. She said that she wasn't going to lose out on $2,500 and that she already had an offer from one of the other jobs that she turned down that promised that her vacation was safe. Now I'm being called into my boss's office because she quit so fast. But in my experience, if you start a new job, you understand that you are last for vacation. My fiance says that I'm an idiot and she was telling me, not asking me. All right, folks, what do you think of this one? Jerk or not the jerk?
I think Opie's the jerk.
OP, OP. She told you that she was going to go on vacation
Mm-hmm.
and that she had non refundable tickets. And when you said, I will try to accommodate, what she heard was that you were going to make every effort possible to accommodate her.
Yeah, and not be like, well, you're the new person, so you're the last one for
Yeah.
vacations. Like, maybe that's how things have historically worked, but if people have options, like, they're not going to stick around
Yeah.
your company if you're going to treat them like, well, you're the new person, so you don't get any of the perks of being here.
Yeah, well, I love like the idea of this manager sitting around being like, "Oh yeah, okay, I think I'm going to try and accommodate her, but we all really know what that means. Wink wink nudge nudge. I know that's an employee's market." And OP, despite all of that, was like, I'm going to take this situation and turn it around and pretend like it's not at my disadvantage and and make sure that I don't have two people there
Well,
instead of no.
and I like his shocked Pikachu face when she told him she had a non-refundable vacation, and then
Hmm.
I was surprised to receive an email from her about this. Like, I just expected she'd just accept it,
Yeah.
because why isn't she just listening to me and doing what I say?
Yeah, when someone has multiple offers, multiple job offers, and is a good quality candidate, you're going to want to take care of them. You should take care of everyone, right? But your new hires, you're going to want to make sure to take care of. You're going to want to make sure that you're sticking up for them and defending them. All you showed them is that you're going to mess them over at the first possible opportunity
Mm-hmm.
and that they can't trust you. This is then becomes a you versus them situation, and that seems like a really bad idea if you're trying to retain employees, and especially good quality employees. All right, folks, it is tea time, so grab your beverages of choice. Make sure to guess what kind of beverage I have today.
It should be no surprise what I have. Mint tea.
Mint tea indeed.
Now we must have a joke.
And Amber is going to be the joke dealer today.
What letter always ends everything?
I don't know what.
The letter G.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, literally everything. Okay, I get it.
I will do one more. Why is the letter S a scary letter?
Oh, I think this one I've already told.
Oh,
Isn't it because it's like, I don't remember. I'm terrible at remembering punchlines now.
because it makes cream scream.
Oh, yeah, the cream scream one. Oh, if you haven't heard that one before, you're welcome. And I have mint tea. I really threw people for a loop yesterday because I did like mint tea, mint tea, mint tea, mint tea, and then suddenly I'm like licorice spice, and then mint again.
All right, our last story is, Am I the jerk for telling my son that I would not stop inviting his ex to family functions? My son, 44-year-old male, divorced his wife, a 43-year-old female, after having an affair with a much younger woman. I think she's 23. He and his ex have two kids, 12 and 6, and his ex has almost full custody of them. He gets them one weekend per month. He just got engaged to the woman he had an affair with and told me I'm not allowed to invite his ex to family functions anymore because his fiance is uncomfortable being around her. Maybe don't be the other woman then? You
Yeah,
know?
I wonder why she's uncomfortable with this situation. What about this could possibly have created some kind of friction?
I told him no, and now he's angry with me. My reasoning is she has custody of their children the vast majority of the time, and I want to be able to see my grandchildren frequently and not only once a month. She has basically been my daughter for 20 years, and it's not like their divorce is going to change the way I feel about her. And she is actually closer to most of my family than he is, since she was always the one who kept us up to date about the kids, scheduled family outings with us, and even spent more time with us than he did. Also, her family lives in another country, and we have been her family for decades. I'm not going to take that away from her because my son decided to leave her. However, I recognize that I'm still really angry and hurt about my son's actions toward his ex wife and kids, so maybe I'm acting out of anger. Am I the jerk for refusing to exclude his ex from our family functions? Edit, I was not expecting this many comments. I only want to add that my former daughter in law is not a controlling or abusive shrew who drove my son to cheat. She is a lovely human being who is also a very good wife to my son. He even admitted that she was completely not at fault, but that he was unexpectedly fell in love when he met his new fiance. Nobody in this situation, including my son, thinks my former daughter-in-law did anything to cause my son to cheat. And that's important. Nobody causes someone else to
No,
cheat.
no, no. I mean,
It's a
he chose what
conscious
to do.
choice.
He chose what to do here.
So I'm gonna say OP's not the jerk.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a little bit of a complicated situation, but the way
No.
it's framed, I think, well, I mean, like, there are situations where inviting the ex might not be necessarily a good idea, but I think the way that this is framed, the way this one has its facts set up, that OP isn't the jerk and very much in the clear.
Then I think like as long as there isn't like abuse or some sort of like really power dynamic like that at play, like in this situation it's very clear like if his son is uncomfortable with her being there, then he and his new fiance can just not go. It's OP's house. He can choose who he invites. And it doesn't sound like his former daughter-in-law did anything to, like, again, I would feel differently if the daughter-in-law was abusive or controlling or something like that. But since, they had she just was really the victim in this situation. He just decided that, oh, I'm madly in love with a 23-year-old, and so I don't think Opie's done anything wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are situations where this might not necessarily be the way to go, but in this particular case, I really think that this is fine. I don't see any flags here that would make me like, oh yeah, you're being selfish. The fact of the matter is that she has the kids most of the time, and the only way that you're going to see the kids is if you invite her along.
Right. Well, and also, I really appreciate that OP still views and respects her
Mm-hmm.
as his daughter
Yeah.
for 20 years. Like, it's great when people are able to like see past the like blood relations and be like, well, she's been my daughter for 20 years. I still want to keep her as
Yeah.
my daughter.
And they also have a close relationship,
Mm-hmm.
so that's an important factor here too. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like, and if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Happy Friday, Junior!
Happy Friday, Junior.
I hope you're all having a great week so far and that you're getting ready for that weekend. And if not, then I mean, hopefully you're getting ready for your work week. I know some people work over the weekend. So, anyhow, take care and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Howdy, folks. I'm A. Brian.
I'm Amber.
You're an A. Amber.
I'm an Amber. You can't even say a Amber. It doesn't work.
No, you're A. Amber.
Oops, sorry. Cheers.